Should we say hi together?
Okay, ready?
Well, okay.
Wait, I'm gonna laugh. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Hi guys! We're back for another video. In this one, it's gonna be a little bit different.
So these are like our 10 tips for when you go to Disney World.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. We're just gonna be telling you tips about what to keep in mind when you go there.
Yeah.
So the first one is to stay hydrated. So always have like a bottle of water with you. Then you won't get thirsty and you won't get dehydrated and like...
Especially during the summer months, because
Yeah.
I've gone when it was like really hot in August and like I was really thirsty. So if you keep yourself hydrated, you'll be able to accomplish more, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's not really hot, like you're walking a lot, so you're just
That's
like,
true, yeah.
absorbing it. So the next tip is wear comfortable shoes.
Yes.
So we cannot stress this one enough because, well, I have an experience because I always wear the same shoes. I wear like those Ked sneakers. They're just like plain white and they're really comfortable for me. So I'm fine with that. But like my sister and like...
Yeah, I've had horrible experiences. By midday, I'm like miserable because I have blisters on the back of my feet.
Because you're walking a lot, so your feet are obviously gonna hurt from that.
The next one is use the fast passes.
It saves you a lot of time on waiting, like on lines, waiting for lines.
Yeah, definitely.
Have a plan, but don't really have a plan. So what we mean by this is sort of understand what you want to do that day at the parks, but you don't need to stick to every little detail.
Yeah.
Because we know that sometimes things happen and, you know, it's Disney, like lines happen and crowds and people and so not everything can go smoothly. So I think it's best to just have a general idea of what rides you want to hit that day maybe, and if you don't get to all of them, don't feel too bad about it.
Number 5 is use the extra magic hours. I actually can't attest to this because I've never used my extra magic hours, which I should start doing from now on, but she's done it. Have you gone in the morning and at night or just at night?
Well, for those of you guys that don't know what extra magic hours are,
Okay.
if you stay within the resorts, the Disney resorts, you're allowed to go to the parks either an hour or two earlier or stay later, depending on what day you're going. Like I know each day they have like certain magic hours for like a specific park. So I think I've only done the nighttime extra magic hours because the earlier ones are really early, like 7 o'clock, and I don't think like I was conscious at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely did the extra magic hours in Magic Kingdom this past May with my sister, and we stayed till like, I think it closed at 1 and we stayed till a little bit after 12 because we were really tired. But like the lines are scarce, like there's barely anybody there.
Oh my God, that's
you
amazing.
can walk around and take as many pictures as you want with the castle, and like it's a magical experience. Like it really is.
So I have to take that tip into account when I go next time.
I definitely recommend it. If you're staying at Disney, do that. So the next tip that we have is leave enough transportation time to get to your reservation. So if you guys are staying in the resorts, they actually have shuttle buses that take you from the resort to the parks. So that takes about...
I would give 2 hours. To get to your destination in time. And even if you get there like early, you still have time to like walk around, take pictures, just hang out until your reservation.
Yeah, because it takes a while, especially for the parks that are further away. Like, is it Magic Kingdom that's the furthest, or is that Animal Kingdom?
I think it's Animal Kingdom because the animals are the farthest.
Yeah, so we had a reservation, not this time that we stayed, but a few years ago at Sanaa, which is an Indian restaurant at Animal Kingdom, and we actually got to our reservation like a little bit late because of how far the park was from our resort, and it took a while to get there. So just keep that in mind when you have a reservation. Have
a rest day in the middle of a long trip, and what we mean by that is that, let's say for example you're staying for 10 days in Disney World, and like instead of like constantly every day doing something and like exhausting yourself, because I don't know, I get exhausted like pretty easily.
It's an exhausting trip.
Yeah, in Disney World. The 4th day or the 5th day, we just like, you know,
go to Disney Springs maybe, go shopping, or just
like go to in the pool that's in the resort and just like to chill. Relax.
Yeah, because this past time when I went with my sister, we were only there for 5 days, so we didn't have time for a rest day, and it was really exhausting. Still fun, but really exhausting.
And you're not really losing the day because you're still like in Disney, so you're still enjoying the atmosphere.
If you can get the park hopper option, then get it. So the park hopper option allows you to go to as many parks as you want in one day, and I just think it's worth it.
It is.
Because like I said, if you have, or like we said before, if you have a reservation at say Magic Kingdom, but you were planning on going to Hollywood Studios earlier that day, you can only do that if you have the park hopper option.
Try to get to the parks early since the lines will be shorter. Again, I have never done this because I'm not a morning person, or I love my sleep. So Usually when we're on vacation in Disney World, we wake up around like 9 or 10, which
Oh,
is
wow.
kind of late.
That's
yeah,
late.
it is kind of late.
Yeah.
But that's only because like we're so exhausted from the day before.
Usually wake up at like 6:37
Wow.
and then try to get to the park like by 9 or a little bit after it opens. But it's actually really worth it because I don't think the crowds start coming in until maybe like 10 or 11.
So that's
Yeah.
so people are usually like me.
yeah.
Yeah.
But for instance, like when we did it for Animal Kingdom, like we got there when it just opened and we like ran to the dinosaur ride. We had no wait. Like we just went straight on the ride.
Wow.
And it was great. Like it's
definitely
yeah,
worth it.
It's worth it, yeah. The last one is
Oh yeah.
okay, have a convo. Okay, the last one is have a conversation in mind for the character meet and greets so that it's not awkward. So this is actually like something that you thought of like a while ago.
Yeah.
So why don't you explain what you mean by that?
I've had experiences where like I would get up to the character and like I really wouldn't know what to say to them.
Aladdin and Jasmine. For me.
For you,
Yeah.
they do their jobs really
Yeah,
well.
they'll interact with you
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah,
But
they'll-
it's less awkward.
It is less awkward.
If you think of something ahead of time and then bring it up to them. Like for
Who?
instance, this past May when I met Kylo Ren.
Oh my god, yes, you have to mention this.
So we're kind of obsessed with Kylo Ren. But
Yeah.
when I went to meet him, he is terrifying. Like really terrifying. Like he'll circle you and like just stare at you and like yell at you. So I asked him if I could call him Ben from the new movie because that's actually his name. His name is Ben. And he yelled at me. He's like, absolutely not. And it was the scariest thing, but I thought it was worth it because
Yeah.
at least like he'll remember that.
And I think she's so brave for doing that. I don't even know how she
But you
did
can
that.
see in the pictures like I'm standing like 10 feet away from him because of how terrifying he is.
Yeah, so definitely have in mind something.
Just something to say.
Yeah, it could be something simple,
Yeah.
like really simple. That's really it. Those
Yeah.
are the 10 tips. I hope that you guys get something out of this. I don't know if
If you guys have any other tips, let us know.
yeah,
We'd love to hear them.
definitely. I love hearing what other people like have
Suggest,
Yeah,
yeah.
and their experiences too. So till next time, have
Have a magical day.
bye.
Is that like our outro?
yeah.
To like fix
Yeah.
myself.
The next. Okay, so
I like disappeared.